Yup, you know what it is. Hip Hop Mike live on Station Head with a special guest who, I mean, we was supposed to sit with him last week, but there was a little bit of technical difficulties. We finally got it sorted out.
Yes, sir.
This guy's going crazy, though. I mean, has a project out that you just heard a song from.
Yep.
Gio Dee is in the building.
What's happening, Mike?
What's happening, bro?
Been a long time coming.
And that's Giodee.
Yes, sir.
Not G-O-D.
Yeah, no, I get that so, bro. I get that so many times, bro. Like, it's crazy how many people just approach me like that. Like, you call yourself God? Like,
well, that's like, we was just having this conversation yesterday at Rosenberg's crib of like, in the 70s, everybody was like Grandmaster, Funkmaster, and then it became like, I guess in the 90s, like Lil or Big.
I mean, that's still till today, though.
Yeah, well, they brought Lil back in the 2010s, like Lil Pump, all these, everybody, man.
Yeah.
But you was out here, Giodee, G-O-D is in the building, man.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Thank you for pulling up.
Nah, thank you for inviting me, bro. You know what I mean?
All love. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. It's only right that we have a conversation about it.
Right. Let's talk about it.
We just played a record off the project that I asked you to specifically pick the record. I was like, which song you think is going to set the tone for what people could expect?
Right.
Why that one?
So the concept behind the record, Fleet Talk, I actually did it because it was dedicated to my homie who actually passed away last June. He died. He got shot in front of his crib.
Damn. What was the name?
Corey Fleet Ash. There's actually a mural of him in is it Brooklyn? Yeah, it's in Brooklyn. I can't remember exactly where in Brooklyn, but there's a mural of him that they painted and whatnot. I actually took a picture of it on the cover art.
Oh, word.
Yeah, so but yeah, basically it was dedicated to him. He had recorded a song. He wasn't even a rapper, he was a model. So he modeled on like he did Reebok, Polo, a couple other brands and whatnot. And he decided to start recording music last minute. He recorded like 2 tracks before he passed. And that was he had a song called Slide. And Slide kind of like sounded a little bit similar, like BPM wise and everything to Fleet Talk. So I was like, yo, I gotta take this flow, call it Fleet Talk, and just, you know what I'm saying, remembrance of him.
Just flip it in his memory.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the artwork, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Is this you painting or this him painting?
Oh, no, that's me. That's me.
Okay, listen, you got your hoodie on right now. I couldn't tell. So, Am I Ready Now?
Yes, sir.
Right? Save Yourself, Truth Be Told, Fleet Talk, as you just heard. But there's a couple of features on here. First off, I got to shout out my man, IAMSU.
Yep, shout out to my niggas too, bro.
But,
I can swear?
Yeah, go right.
Yeah, shout out to my niggas too.
I told you, we can do whatever the fuck we want over here.
Say no more, dog. Hell yeah, shout out to my niggas too, dog.
We're not going to just skate over this Mark E. Bassey. I always fuck up the last name.
Yeah, for sure. Basie's my dog. The way I met him, bro, is just so random. Like we met on Halloween like 3 years ago. Shout out to Shabazz. Shabazz was DJing the Halloween nightclub. Forgot what it was.
Before things even took off for him.
Yeah. So this is like when he just like, I think he just dropped his first project or something like that.
Okay.
And literally he's in the club, bro. This nigga's laying on the floor in the middle of the VIP with 2, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, what? I've never seen no wild shit like this. Like, he's in the middle of the club doing this. I'm like, this nigga's different.
French shit.
Yeah, bro. And Shabazz like, yo, he about to be the next star. I'm like, word, I believe it. I ain't never seen a nigga do that, but, you know what I mean?
So how do you make the acquaintance? Because I know you didn't just get on the floor and was like, what's up, bro?
Nah, so me and Basie always kick it. We always, you know what I'm saying, party all the time, kicking in L.A., in the Bay, and even in Boston. Anytime he come to Boston, he always, you know what I'm saying, bring me out to his show or whatever. We always had a good friendship relationship, you know what I mean? So
Fire.
I talk to him all the time. That's my dog.
So for people who aren't familiar, where are you originally from? Because I feel like there's a lot of elements in the music. You could be from anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts.
All right.
Yeah.
There's not, I'll say, and people say it generically, like I'm definitely familiar with certain people like Stiz.
Yep.
There's a girl up there, her name does slip my mind, some girl, Cherry something, that I seen perform when Schoolboy Q was on tour up there. She opened up. But I think
I heard of that.
Most notably, Joyner is, I guess, one of the bigger names. Sammy Adams.
Yeah.
But nobody that's really like been outside of the Northeast, outside of maybe Joyner, specifically from Boston.
B is from Boston too.
Who?
Bia.
Bia's from Boston?
Yeah, she's from Boston.
See, that's a whole nother thing. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Bia's from Boston. Millie's is from Boston too.
I know Millie's, big up Millie's.
Yeah, Millie's from Cambridge though, but still Boston.
Well, for you to connect with people like IAMSU, with Mark, I mean, you clearly have been moving around outside of Boston too.
Right.
I mean, these acquaintances, did you really like connect with them in the hometown, or was
that was all organically like going to the Bay. Okay. So like I like kind of like stayed in the Bay basically for like 2 years and bounced back and forth between Boston and there. So just me being out there, being around Shabazz. Shout out to Shabazz. Shabazz is like my OG. Shabazz literally just introduced me to all these people, and then me just building relationships from there. So
how'd you and Shabazz link up?
Honestly, through the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily through the internet. So there was a person who booked him for a party. And he got booked for a party, and somebody kept coming up to the DJ booth like, yo, play Gio Dee, play Gio Dee. He's like, I don't know who the fuck that is, bro. Like, you're telling me to play God? I don't know who that is. So the dude was like, yo, I'm going to send you the link to the song or whatever. I'm going to email it to you. Just play it. And he played it. And the first song he heard from me was called For the Low. And he was like, yo, you know who this is? And he was like, nah, like, I just like his music. I don't know him. He's like, yo, try to get me connected with this dude. I got to meet him. Like, and he flew me out to the Bay. That was the first time I ever got on the flight. All that. That's the first time I went to California and just went out there, kicked it with him. It's been love ever since, bro.
See, and not for nothing, you so fortunate it was Shabazz, because there's so many DJs who've been like, get this shit out of my face. I don't take requests.
Right.
The fact that they were like, yo, you need to play this Gio Dee.
Right.
And
he said the dude was like pressing them,
yeah.
like, yo, you gotta play Gio Dee, play Gio Dee.
Well, either Shabazz a really good guy or this dude was a really good salesman, or both. But either way, it worked out. See, so I didn't even know about the Boston, because I just assumed you was from the Bay.
Right. I know I'm out there a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, you say you lived out there for 2 years?
Yeah.
So what was that experience like? Is this a whole different world in the Bay than it is in Boston?
It definitely is, bro. It's slower. The weather's better. A lot of weed.
I was gonna say the weed is loud.
A lot of weed. Like, I smoke so much weed to the point I don't smoke weed no more.
Really?
Yeah.
Same. I'm 3 weeks off the weed because I was like, I can't buy a quarter a day. This is crazy. I'm smoking everything in sight.
I can't, bro. It was ridiculous out there with the weed. But yeah, I mean, like, it's just completely different. But the thing is like certain elements of the Bay kind of remind me of Boston. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the culture is kind of like similar. The only thing that's different that I wish Boston would do is like everybody kind of like support each other type thing. Yeah. Everybody's kind of like off into a distance, do what they want to do. Nobody's like, you know what I'm saying, like together how like the Bay Area, Atlanta, certain places are.
Does the Bay have a curfew? Because I know in Boston, everything gets shut down like 2 a.m. Is that what time?
Nah, I think the Bay is. I think it's like 2 or 3 or something like that too.
Okay.
I think same thing.
Because that was always the thing for me, but like at least Boston and New York, I'm like, how is it? You know, I always assumed that was why it was so hard for artists to break out of Boston. Because I'm like, the clubs ain't going till 2, and then a lot of the crowd that's out there is like mostly college kids that I assume are just like, you know, they support their friends and things, or people that are go to their school specifically.
Right, yeah.
And like more times than not, I mean, if you could get into any school in Boston, Massachusetts, I mean, you got to be brilliant to the point where it's like, when the fuck can you even go out to party where you studying all day?
It's too much work, for real. We got all the top colleges, so.
But like if you in the Bay, you know, it's kind of easier to get music out when people is just smoking and vibing out late at night. It's like, you know, not to say people ain't in the Bay studying, but it's like, I know they partying too. They're notorious for that.
Yeah, for sure.
In getting like recognized outside of Shabazz, do you think the music went to a different place, like as far as attention?
Attention wise, and just like kind of like sound wise. So sonically, like I feel like it helped develop like to the sound that I'm at right now, basically.
What was it? Was it linking with different like producers or?
Yeah, that's number one. Like Fleet Talk right now, that's the guy I've been rocking with for like honestly the past 3 months. This dude named 6'7" That Boy. He's a 16-year-old kid from Toronto. So literally, you know what I'm saying, like, we niggas tapped in and just been locked in ever since. But before that, it's been DG. DG did like a lot of stuff from my other previous projects and stuff. So it is definitely like working with different producers and just hearing different sounds and whatnot and utilizing it. So,
what was your vision for this project? I mean, you mentioned that you kind of did it in, you know, honor of your homie and things like that. But you know, it's sonically you have the Fleet Talk record that kind of speaks to that. Is the whole project like
Nah. So the whole project don't sound like Flea Talk. Like I'm the type of person, I'm the type of artist. Like, well, I'm diverse. I don't want to put myself in a box. I don't want people to try to put me in a box. None of that stuff. Like, I have to be diverse. I can't sit here and make the same type of song, same type of rhythm every single time. I can't do that. That's just ass to me.
Well, what inspires you like the most? Like, and I don't just mean like other artists, but like, is there stuff that you got to do in the day to day? Like, I mean, you mentioned smoking. I know for me personally, when I was smoking, it made me kind of watch different kind of content than when I kind of stopped smoking. Now I'm on the TED Talks and more spiritual stuff. Is there something that kind of you gravitate to that inspires you?
Just my son. That's just it.
Okay.
That's the only motivation I need, for real.
How old is your son?
He's about to turn 5,
wow.
February 17th.
Okay, I have no kids, but I've heard that it's like life changing. Like
it is, bro. It changed your perspective on everything.
So what is it about having a son? Like, are you learning stuff from him? Because people always say like, oh, I learned so much from having my kid, but like from my kid specifically. Right. And I'm like, how you gonna learn from a 5-year-old? But like, I mean, like, what is it about that experience?
So basically, it's just watching the growth. You feel what I'm saying? Like watching him just like follow my footsteps, everything that I do, like even down to like the things that he does. He likes to draw. He's a super duper artist. And it's crazy because like he's only 4 right now, and he put me on to so many artists. It don't make no sense, bro. Like Lil Xan, I didn't know about Lil Xan until he put me on. He showed me the Betray video when it first dropped. I was like, what the hell? Like, because I let him watch YouTube and shit, you know what I mean? And he put me on to that, and then like 2 weeks later, I went to LA and I had a show with Lil Xan.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And it's interesting too, because not for nothing, like me asking you what kind of inspires you, it sounds like completely different things inspire your son. So it's like, it's a chain reaction, you know, because if your son's watching things, he'd be inspired by this artist, and then watching that, and then you being inspired by him, it's just like...
Yeah, it's a domino effect.
Yeah, and it expands, like, I mean, I guess so many different ways, because, you know, for us to be a little older, obviously we not kids, we in elementary and middle school.
Right.
I remember being in elementary and middle school and being like super in tune, like almost more so than I am now.
Right, absolutely, for sure.
And it's like, you know, I've always heard people like in companies, like for example, I guess Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs, like these guys always talk about, you need to hire the youth. Like even Scooter Braun is like, I have all kids that are like under 25 in my office, and for specifically that reason. Right. For you to have one,
their ideas are so fresh, bro, and like, you know what I'm saying, like their creativity's on a whole nother level that mine can't be at.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And working on this project, primarily you did this out in the Bay?
Nah, most of it was done in Boston. So I recorded at the spot called Phoenix Down. Shout out John Scott, shout out Josh. They the ones who engineered the whole thing. Yeah, so most of it was done there. The only two songs I did on there that's from the Bay was Save Yourself and Automatic, and both of those are produced by Shabazz. Shabazz produces now, so.
Fire. Okay, big up Shabazz. That's crazy. Yeah. So he went from the DJing to production. Going wild.
He's crazy right now.
Nah, I respect it, man. That's no joke. Like the technical aspects of that is crazy.
Right.
Are you learning anything with production or engineering?
I actually started out as an engineer. That's how I got into rapping.
Shit.
Yeah. I was originally going to BU, and we had classes and whatnot. I had to like record myself. So during that time, we recorded ourselves. I did a freestyle over Red Cafe's Money Money. And then I put it out on Reverb Nation just to let people know, yo, come see me if you need, you know what I'm saying, audio engineer work. People are like, yo, D, you know what I'm saying? Like, your shit fire. Like, keep dropping some shit. I'm like, all right, cool. So every 2 weeks I was dropping freestyles, and then I dropped a whole freestyle tape, just rapping over other people's beats. I went to RP to Mac Miller. Mac Miller did a free concert in Boston at the City Hall. I printed out like how many CDs? It was like 200, 150.
He said a lot.
Yeah, maybe it was like 200, 300 CDs. You know what I mean? And we literally just went out there and passed it out. And right after that, started getting following on Twitter. During that time, I was only using Twitter and Facebook, so we got a little following from that. I was like, all right, fuck it, let me go do original project, and I'm gonna drop out of school. I didn't even finish.
I was going to ask, what were you in BU for? Was it specifically engineering?
Yeah, it was audio engineering and business.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
I had a friend that went to BU. I forgot what she went for, but I know that's like one of the biggest, like hardest colleges to get into, period.
It is. I was on a waiting list, and I guess somebody ended up going to Duke, and then I got, you know what I'm saying? And it was last minute, too, for real.
You see, Rosenberg always would talk about Duke sucking, but I feel like Duke would have to be your second favorite school now. He got you a slot.
For real.
So that's fire. And then, I mean, I'm imagining their audio engineering school puts you in a place where it's like you at the top caliber of engineers, because it's not like just some, like a lot of people go to these kind of like, this school is specifically for audio engineering, give us 20 grand and we'll teach you. And then it's like the quality of education is not the same as I'd imagine.
Well, I know another thing is too, like that made me want to drop out is the simple fact that they didn't teach us how to record hip hop. So I had to learn how to record hip hop on my own. The only thing they taught me is like how to do instruments, MIDI keyboards, all that stuff. They did not teach hip hop. So I was like, wait, I'm in this. I want to do hip hop. I'm paying niggas all this money. This is really what I want to do. I'm out of this shit.
That's pretty fucked up though. Like no shade to him, but like hip hop is the #1 genre in the world. And to not even be teaching it. And also like shout out my brother Ninth Wonder. He teaches a class like in Boston also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's at MIT, right? When he does that. Yeah, like that's crazy, bro. Like so I'm like, I'm good. I'll just go online, figure out how to do it myself, or just I used to sit in my room just on Pro Tools, just fucking around and just figuring everything out. So, were
you nervous at all in dropping out of school, or did you feel like things were kind of in a place where you?
Nah, I was hella nervous because the first person I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, my mom's about to whip my ass. Nigga,
did you have your kid yet?
Nah. So I didn't have a license until like 5 years ago. So I was in BU 2010 to like 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's a nice little run, though.
Yeah.
So you drop out. Your mom want to beat your ass.
Yeah.
When did she start believing in what you were doing and kind of see the vision?
So she was like, when it came to time for me to like do my original project, when I was in the process of that, literally she was just like, yo, if you gonna do this shit, do it all the way. And don't fuck up. You feel me? Like, don't fail me type shit. You know what I mean? So, and I did it. We dropped the original project. We did Middle East Upstairs. So that was my first headline concert, and we sold it out.
Fire.
Yeah.
Did my Dukes come to the concert?
Nah, she didn't come to the concert.
Yeah.
She don't like to be around all the commotions and all the other shit, backstage type shit. So
how does she feel about the music? Like, does she listen to it?
Yeah, that's my biggest critic.
Okay. What's some feedback she gives you? Because I feel like there's some things that's in the music that probably Mama Dukes is like.
Yeah, like she'll be like, she'll be like, reduce the swears in this song, or I don't like this bar, or you know what I'm saying. She's like my biggest critic for real.
That's wild though, because it's like it's hip hop. How you almost not gonna swear a song and make sense.
For sure.
So, I mean, I got to ask you about IAMSU.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys are friends. You mentioned before we started recording, but he's a dude that I know for sure don't just fuck with anybody. Like, he's a guy that really is passionate about the music, and he's not going to do a record if it doesn't sound right. And even if he does a record and it doesn't come out right, he's like, we're not putting this out.
Yeah, for sure.
So how did you kind of link up with him, and, what was it that made him really believe in it? Was it just the music, or was there some sort of, like, bond outside of that y'all connected on?
So what happened was Shabazz, that first time that I went to the Bay, Shabazz was DJing at Sonoma State University, and it was Sue's show at that college. They let me open up. I did like 2 or 3 songs, opened up, and then we had an after party at this club called Remy's in Santa Rosa. So we went there, and like towards the end of the night, Shabazz had played this song I had out at the time. It was produced by Trap Money Benny. It was called Celebrity. So he played it, and like the whole club was singing it. And I was hella surprised. I'm like, this is my first time in California, and they know my shit. You feel me? Like, what the fuck?
Shabazz the influential dude.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, what the fuck? And then Shabazz was like, yo, go perform the shit. We performed the shit. And then Sue and everybody just looking around like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you from Boston, you just come over here and they all know your shit. Like, we gotta fuck with you. We gotta see what's up. And then I didn't really get in the studio with Sue until he came to Boston. So, like, we always kept a cordial relationship and whatnot, and then he came to Boston. He tapped in with me. We pulled up to the studio, and then we literally just locked in. And he's like, oh, like, you kind of, like, we, like, at the same speed, kind of, like, recording music and whatnot. And Sue's crazy with the production. I seen this nigga make a beat in, like, 10 minutes, bro. Like, he's ridiculous with it. So, just in the studio over here and just be bouncing ideas off of each other, like, and just go in, for real.
He's special, man. I don't know how he's able to do the production, the rapping, and, like, I mean, he keeps me in the loop. He'd be like, yo, what do you think it is? Or, like, he'll send records over. Right. And, like, there's very few artists that do that, like, keep in touch with people. Because really, like, I know him through doing interviews, obviously, and, like, you know, to hit up an interviewer that you kind of met maybe 2-3 times just off the strength of like he could feel that I'm a genuine fan of this shit.
Right.
I think it's so ill.
Hell yeah. I respect you. Shout out to him, bro.
Moving forward, I ask every artist this, and it always comes across as a generic question, but I think it's deeper than people give it credit for. What would you say would mark success for you? Because, I mean, I've heard answers like, I need a jet, to I need a label, to I just want to be happy, and, you know? So what do you feel like would be success, like, you know, in your eyes, Gio Dee?
Changing lives and perspectives.
Okay.
100%, because it's like the only way you're gonna be considered a legend in anything you do in life, you have to change your life or perspective. This is what it is. It don't matter what it is, from politics to music to whatever you choose. Martin Luther King became a legend because he changed lives' perspective. Kendrick Lamar is a legend right now because he's doing that. Tupac, Malcolm X, you can name whoever, Obama. It's literally those two things. You change lives, you change perspectives, you're gonna be considered a legend. So that's what I aim to do. You feel me?
Nah, and I can definitely see you doing it with the music. I love the fact you mentioned MLK also, as MLK Day today.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to, I guess, a speech he did. It was about peace. And, you know, and just listening to the speech, just like a half hour today on the way to Station Head, I'm just kind of vibing in the car.
Yep.
And I was thinking to myself, like, I wonder how he would feel about the climate of today, because racism is still super prevalent. It's
super live.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But considering when he passed away at 39, or when he was assassinated, let's not even be PG about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, at 39, the climate of like where he was at is completely different from today. And like you said, just to be able to spark, you know, some of what has made it make some progress. Like the fact that we're talking more openly about it. From what I know, you know, people, they're getting killed in the streets, but it's not to the extent of before where it's just blatant. Like, people almost have to be scared to be open with their racism in a lot of parts of the country.
Right.
You know, a lot of that was things that he sparked. Do you feel like at a certain point, you know, if you change things, you have to see the results from it? Or do you think that, you know, just sparking things 100 years from now, maybe you make a difference that you're never even able to see? That's
definitely true, too. You might not make an instant impact. Sometimes it might take progress. It might take a long time. Like, but as long as it happens, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal.
Well, how do you go about leaving legacies like that outside of just the music? I mean, are there other things that you're doing? I mean, you're raising your son right, clearly.
Yeah, for sure.
But have you done anything like back in Boston that's kind of shook stuff up, or in the Bay, or?
Back in Boston, we've done things like we did like backpack drives, you know what I'm saying, doing like free concerts and stuff like that. Like, that's literally what we've been doing at the moment. But I haven't got to the place where it's like I'm trying to. As soon as I get to where I want to, that's when I want to get like political and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, to change everything that's going on in Boston, especially with the Boston public schools and things like that, you feel me?
So what does that look like for you? Is it doing a show in Boston? Because I feel like you can be the dude that actually brings it back. I mean, even the fact that you mentioned guys like Millies and people who genuinely care about putting on for the city and not necessarily just getting on and getting out.
Right.
How would you kind of go about organizing things like that? And what's your vision for Boston moving forward?
Right. So the backpack drive actually that we did, it was me, Millies, and Bia that did it.
Oh, fire.
Yeah, so we did that. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
I still can't believe Bia from Boston. See, she need to talk more about Boston. I mean, maybe I'm not paying attention.
For sure. But yeah, we did a backpack drive. We went to like different hoods and whatnot, passed out bags and whatnot. We did them in Dorchester, Roxbury. Went to a sneaker store, Laced, and then, you know what I'm saying, passed out bags and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get everybody in one room. We all just do something that's like changing lives and inspire all the youth that's coming from the city, because there's so much talent right now just like coming out of the city right now, because they all like looking up to us type shit. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just the right time for all of us to get together and just be like, all right, cool, like let's change our whole scene, because we never had a Boston hip hop scene. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we never have. And it's the first time ever. Like, I understand like we had Edo G and all that time, but the demographic and all that has not been as big as it is right now for Boston ever.
So it's starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Fire. What are you working on moving forward? What's to come for you?
More projects, more music, more concerts, more everything.
Are you touring it all off this project? Have you done some shows and stuff?
We did a show last night in Boston.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
And then you drove down here to do the interview.
Yeah.
So you working?
Absolutely, gotta be.
Good shit. And,
Hell yeah.
And project wise, I mean, are you gonna continue? I mean, obviously you're gonna continue to work with Shabazz, but could we expect a project that's maybe fully produced by Shabazz, or that?
That's a high possibility. I know for a fact it's gonna be the dude who did Fleet Talk, 6'7" That Boy. Me and him are definitely gonna do a full project. Shabazz is definitely a possibility though.
Fire.
Hell yeah.
Who would you want to work with? That maybe you haven't met yet or haven't been able to connect with.
Come Clean. Kanye.
I know it's a tough question.
Kanye for sure. Travis. Trying to think of who else. Tory Lanez. I don't know. It's a big wide variety list. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, it's gonna be a long year.
Yeah, for sure.
Where can people keep up with you at?
I am Gio Dee, all social networks. IamGioD.com for everything. Make sure you get him already right now. All platforms. Let's get it.
And that's at IAMGIODEE.
Yep.
Don't look at IAMGOD. You're going to find somebody else that cannot rap as well as this man to my left.
Oh, dogs.
So I asked you to give me a song to set it off. We spoke about Fleet Talk.
Yep.
Why Automatic to close it out? What is it about that record that stands out to you?
Just the vibe, me and Sue, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, and like, when you get a chance, you know what I'm saying, go on IG, I posted a clip, like, me and Sue sipping a Henny Priv and just in the crib, just vibing, like, just bouncing ideas back and forth and just laid the shit down, bro. And this shit is hard. So I was like, gotta show that, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's get to that. Shout out my man IAMSU. I have to shout out Sue's My Dukes. Shout
out My Dukes for sure.
I don't give her enough credit. Of all the interviews I did, respectfully, she was my favorite. Like, right. She done came up here, spit bars, all that. Like, Sue is cool too, you know, but like, My Dukes is the truth.
For sure. Shout out to My Dukes.
Yo, I really appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
I can't even imagine being an artist from Boston. I mean, being a father, traveling all over the place. It's just the beginning, man. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, dog, for sure.
Much love.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Let's leave him with this Automatic. You know what it is. Gio Dee in the building. At IAMGOD on all socials.
Let's go.